to you on this Monday morning. I'm Art Lewis. Nice to have you with us. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, at least for the first part of the hour, we'll talk to State Representative Bill Schuette. And then we'll have more open phones. For this hour, by the way, it is open lines at 989-752-6111. And at 11 o'clock, we'll learn about Rose Pest Control. All of that coming up this morning. In studio with me, Jonathan Dent, who I have to say thank you for covering for me when I took some days off last week.
You're very welcome.
Anything interesting that I missed other than Matt Fallon?
Oh, well, Matt's fun to talk to. No. Great few days of conversation there.
Yeah?
Yep.
Good deal. All right, so again, our number's 989-752-6111. It's all about you. And we've got Carl in Saginaw waiting for us, so we might as well get her going. Carl, good morning.
You say it's all about me? So
Along
today's
with
show is all about me?
Along with everybody
Let's
else.
say y'all. It's all about y'all.
Y'all. That's good. I like that.
Y'all, you all.
If you want it
Come
to
on
be
down.
about you, go ahead. We'll leave.
Okay. Yeah, just you guys can go take a break. I'll keep the audience busy.
Yeah.
Art, I think this is the first time we've talked since Chedrick Green won the special Senate election.
Yep.
And he won that about 60% to 40%, which is a, pretty solid
yeah.
win.
Well, and you remember, I had nothing but positive things to say about Chedrick. I've known him for years, decades.
Yes, well, he seems like a good guy from every measure I can see.
He is a great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
So I
served
hope
his
he's going to
country.
make a good.
He's an outstanding person. And do I agree with him on everything? No. Do I think he will do a good job for us? Yes.
Okay. Now, do I understand that he's just won this term until November?
Yes.
So there's another election in November.
He's running
for
again.
This office.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And do I understand that Jason Tooney is going to be the Republican candidate?
Don't know.
Again?
They've got to go through primaries again.
They'll have primaries again. I'm sure he'll run for it, but I don't know whether, it depends who he's up against. I don't think Chedrick will have any opposition, although I don't know that. But I imagine
any challengers.
I imagine Tunney might. So we'll see.
Well, it would be interesting if they decided to run Tunney again, considering the loss a couple of weeks ago.
Well,
I don't know.
It's not whether they decide; it's whether the public decides. It's
The
a
public
primary.
decides, yeah.
It's a primary. I mean,
but they.
Well, you may think it's a stacked deck, but it's still the public can surprise you.
I agree with that, but a lot of it has to do with money and
all that good stuff. But obviously, it doesn't win elections.
Is there anyone else running right now for that in the Republican side?
Don't know. Have no idea.
Oh.
I don't know whether I don't know whether his other opponent will again. I don't know. Haven't heard.
So there'll be a primary in what, September or something, or August?
August.
It would be in August.
August.
Yeah, it's the standard primary.
And
is that seat's up for election?
Well, yeah, because they're only filling out the remainder of the term for Christian McConnell-Rivet.
Because it was empty for a year.
Right, it was empty. Yeah, very.
Yeah.
So
okay.
they have to run again.
That's
all right.
That's what I want. That's what I wanted to know. All right, thank you.
Aren't we lucky we get to see it all over again?
It looks like.
Yeah, but wait, hang on a minute.
This is unconfirmed. Tunney and Chadwick Twillman are in for the Republican primary
as of
so
now.
far. Yeah.
Okay.
So it
I
might
don't
be Chadwick against Chadwick.
That wouldn't
in
be
the race?
confusing at all.
No, not at all. Who are you voting for? Well, one of those guys, I think.
I'm voting for one of the Whigs.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Good enough.
Bye now.
989-752-6111. Yeah, it's it's the never-ending political cycle.
Yep.
We just got done with it, and we'll do it all over again.
For the same exact seat. But yeah, when it's been left vacant for so long,
Well, you
then
can lay that on
that
the
term.
governor.
Well, but then that term ends up just a few months long.
Yeah, right. 8 months, I think,
Yeah.
if that. And so they'll be in running mode all over again.
Yeah, but I think a special election win does
Well, it doesn't
does a
hurt.
lot of the work for them.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. Doesn't hurt. Not at all. By the way, if you have a humanoid or animal-like robot, you seen those robotic dogs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a robot butler. No,
Southwest Airlines has just banned all humanoid and animal-like robots from flights. I didn't know it was a problem.
I didn't know either.
Yep.
No, hold on. There was something about that recently that someone had a humanoid robot on a plane.
A 3.5-foot humanoid robot named Stewie
That's what it
was
was.
carried aboard, and they won't be able to do that again. Its new travel policy prohibits passengers from bringing humanoid or animal-like robots onto flights, either in the cabin or as checked baggage. Now,
Yeah,
if you have one in a trunk or a suitcase
So-
locked up,
it has to do with the battery
yeah, that's kind of what
That's
I
the
thought.
concern.
Yeah.
in there. But there was a humanoid robot that someone tried to take on a plane, and it caused this massive delay because it had a big battery, lithium battery that
Yeah.
you're not supposed to have.
Which, and I can understand that. It follows the recent viral, as they say, viral incident involving a humanoid robot named Stewie. Traveled from Las Vegas to Dallas. Stewie's owner bought the 3.5-foot robot in its own seat instead of shipping it as cargo.
Yep.
So, but the guy owns, his name is, see if I can get his name right here. His name is Aaron Metazeta. And
Okay.
he owns a business which rents humanoid robots.
Really?
Yeah. So, anyway, if you have one, folks, leave it home. Don't stuff it in the
Because
trunk.
everybody's got one.
Everybody's got
Well,
one.
Give it a few years, and then the robot rights activists will be protesting at Southwest Airlines, and they'll get this
Yes, it'll be a robot.
policy overturned.
It'll be a robot coupled with AI.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Jesus. Oh my goodness gracious! But I mean, the battery issue is a serious issue.
Oh yeah.
They've had phones. They've had all kinds of bad laptops, things like that,
Causing fires
go
and
up in
things.
flames.
Yep.
So I do think what's going to happen is we will see at some point in the very near future a new battery technology which will not be as incendiary.
Yeah, I think
But
wouldn't
it's
be
going to take a
surprised.
while for everything to get incorporated.
Yep.
A lot of talk about that because there's a lot of battery research going on now because of EVs and what have you.
And that's kind of the next step in the technological advancement. Like we got computers down to the size of a smartphone being what they are. It's
Wow.
like, okay, and so the next step is downsizing batteries and more powerful
Yep.
batteries to keep
Yep.
those things powered. And then they're going to expand the capabilities of the technology again to fit the power source. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
I was just talking over the weekend with a buddy, and the subject of data centers came up, and it occurred to me it wasn't that long ago that a normal computer took up the space of an entire
That's right.
building like that. So
The old IBMs.
20, 40 years from now, is an AI data center going to be completely irrelevant because we've got it downsized to
That could be.
A desktop?
Depends on what they discover in chip manufacturing.
Yeah, exactly.
So and power. I mean, they're all relative. So
Yep.
I just AI worries me, to be honest. I mean, I think we can learn to use it, and we have learned to use it to a degree. But it's so ripe for misuse.
Oh, yeah.
And I just the same way we've misused the internet in lots of ways. So I don't know. I just kind of sit back and just keep a wary eye out. I figure I'm old enough; I won't be around when they become so prevalent that there's one on every doorstep.
My view of the current versions of AI that we have out there, and it'll probably be this way for at least another few years, is they need to be treated like the computer from Star Trek. Computer, do this thing with these parameters. Okay, it'll do that. It's not a replacement for a human
Well, there's a difference.
being in a lot of things.
Yeah, but there's a difference. You can tell AI to do that, but is it smarter than you? And does it say, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do my own go-around because it's AI?
Not currently.
No,
That's what I mean by the current version that we have, because
yeah.
it's just predictive modeling based on information
Yeah,
that it already has.
But, you feed it enough information, and depends on the AI, I guess.
I don't know.
It's going to be interesting. All right, we're going to take a break. Lines are open for you, 989-752-6111. More coming up on this open line hour.
Ready to update your home and
All right, we're back with you. Art Lewis along with Jonathan Dent here on an open phone hour. And Scott is in Saginaw. Scott, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. I have a couple topics. First one is I'd like to say how proud I am of our Republican leadership in Washington, how the president, vice president, speaker of the House, Department of War, and others came together and declared that Yahweh is our God, Jesus Christ is Lord, and that we need his help and his blessing over this nation. I thought that was just absolutely fantastic. Never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. It just makes me proud.
Well, they were going back to the formation of the country. I mean,
Yep.
and in the 250th, we were formed on Judeo-Christian principles, and they went to them, which is wonderful.
Well, and there's a contrast there that you couldn't get 3 or 4 people from the Democrat leadership together and do that same thing. Their base would have them. It's just they have no room for Jesus Christ in their party.
No, I don't want to go there.
Well, hold on.
No.
Kamala
I'm
Harris
not going to hold on, because you're alluding to the fact that Democrats are anti-Christ, which is not true.
Kamala Harris was running for president.
Okay,
of the
so that's
Democratic
Kamala
Party,
Harris.
and
Good for her.
And at one of her rallies, somebody yelled, "Jesus Christ is Lord." She stopped. She looked at him. She said, "You're in the wrong venue." And the crowd erupted with laughter. So I'll leave it at
she
that.
represents herself.
She represents the Democrat Party. They were going to call her.
all right.
Well, anyway.
I just, I know too many Democrats that are devout Christians to say that.
I'll agree with the base and the party for the most part, but I do think a lot of the leadership are worried that they'd lose a lot of support if
they spoke out. Yeah.
about anything like
Yes.
that, and that speaks to their base as well.
But on Sunday, you'll find them in
Yes.
church.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
the other
do.
one, I don't know.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't know if you guys caught James Comey on Meet the Press. I'm not going to get into his whole little spiel about finding the shells on the beach there, but his caption when he posted that was, and I'll quote, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk." So to me, if this man truly did not know what this meant, wouldn't he have posted that and said, "Hey, does anybody understand this? Does anybody know what this means?"
Yeah. We all know he knew.
Yeah.
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 I know. All right.
That's
All
beyond
right.
belief.
And good to hear you on there, Jonathan. You're doing well.
I thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Have
All
a
right,
good
guys.
one, Scott. Bye-bye now.
All right. Thanks.
989-752-6111. There is a tendency today to think one blanket covers everything, and it just is not true.
And to speak to that, but you can recognize trends.
You
can-
absolutely.
You can say, a Democrat lawmaker coming out and saying
But you're specifically saying that.
that's
You're
fair.
not saying all Democrats. You're
Yes,
just saying a
correct.
Democratic lawmaker, which
Yeah.
is fine. Here's a poll which should, in this case, worry Republicans, not Democrats. You remember what I have said all along. When we go to the polling place, we vote with our pocketbooks for the most part, not exclusively, but for the most part.
It's a huge contributing factor. Yep.
CBS YouGov poll says Americans are frustrated with struggling economy in new poll. That's not good news for the Republicans.
Nope.
They are largely pessimistic about the state of the economy. Respondents largely called financial conditions uncertain and the economy struggling. And they've taken it out on Trump and his ratings.
Well, and here in first 2 years of Trump's term, he can't really blame Biden. He kind of set himself up on the campaign trail to say, I'm going to turn this economy around
Right.
immediately. And
He can blame Biden for what he inherited, but he can't walk away from the fact that it hasn't been reversed.
exactly.
And Iran is making it worse. And
Yep.
and you know that's they have to live with it.
Yep. That's
And come election day, may pay the piper.
it's a big weight.
Although everything I've read about these redistricting things going on, the total picture when you look at it seems to favor Republicans.
It seems to be going the Republicans' way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
The question I ask in these situations is, do I feel like it would be better under Democratic leadership? And the
I don't.
the answer that I come to is we might get very, very immediate short-term relief in some way, but the long-term effects of that tend to be a lot worse. And that's true of Republicans too. It's
the other thing you would
short-term.
more likely get is new taxes
Yeah. In the long term.
in the long term. So
Yes,
I just,
exactly.
I shake my head at all this. It's just, I don't know. It's just one thing after another. One thing after another. They just can't seem to.
Well, it's short-sightedness
Well,
in a
yeah.
lot of ways, and it's not just fiscally, it's in a lot of the systems that are put into place. Is we have this issue, we're going to put something in that's going to fix it over the next 3 years. That's not a lasting solution for a lot of things.
Here's another one. And this was proposed by a Republican. Sam Graves of Missouri is proposing a new fee as part of the 5-year surface transportation funding bill on EVs. He wants EV owners to pay $250 annually under this new tax to make up for the fact they don't pay any gas tax.
That's the point.
Well, but they use the roads.
They do use the... Yeah.
You know, I mean, so...
Oh, yeah. No, I've heard this kind of thing floated before.
And it would cut into their savings, but right now they're estimating a driver who opts for a new or used EV could save as much as $2,200 annually on gas. Even hybrid drivers save $1,500 annually. So $250 would cut into their savings, but not eliminate them. So I don't know. You know, this is a struggle every state is going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
How to replace road tax.
But the EV market remains much smaller than it was expected to be.
At this time, but it's now stable rather than declining.
Yes.
So time will tell. I think the answer there is when they come up with new battery technology that gets rid of range anxiety and all of those things. I do think there'll be a movement to EVs, but I want that to be a market movement,
Yeah.
not a government incentive movement.
Uh-huh.
You know, I want people to buy EVs because they want EVs
And they need to be affordable, and the infrastructure needs to be there to support them
Absolutely.
at the same time.
in all ways.
Yep.
I would take a quick break here, come back, and we'll get to Tim and Chris. When we return, let me take a moment to talk about Quick Lane Freeland, where they can help you out if you've had any incidents with potholes, let's say. might be affecting your alignment. And if it affects your alignment, that can be affecting your handling. It can be affecting your tire wear. And our friends at Quick Lane Freeland on the McDonald Ford property are offering you a complimentary alignment check. You heard me right. Complimentary, free. Just stop in and say, I'd like you to check my alignment, and they will do so. If they find anything out of the ordinary, they'll tell you about it, what needs to be done. If they don't, you're on your way. And if one of the things is you need tires, remember that at Quick Lane Freeland, they sell all their tires at just $5 over cost. And by the way, if you want to know how much alignment can affect your driving, listen to John from Quick Lane Freeland.
If your vehicle's wheels are aligned correctly, it will not pull to the left or to the right when driving. It also prevents improper tread wear, so your tires last longer. A wheel alignment should be checked often because normal steering wear and tear can cause your alignment to go out in addition to potholes and railroad crossings. A correct alignment also reduces rolling resistance on your tires for better fuel mileage.
Thanks, John. Stop in today. Quick Lane Freeland, have your complimentary alignment check. While you're there, walk over to the McDonald Ford lot, take a look at all the new Ford products as well as their pre-existing vehicles. You'll find almost something for every price range at McDonald Ford and Quick Lane Freeland, both standing ready to help you with all your automotive needs in 2026.
Rocket Grab Plus.
And we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. Art Lewis along with Jonathan Dent in studio. It's open phones, and Tim is in Midland. Tim, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. Catching your show. I've been away for a while, just catching up. How we doing?
I was away for a while, too, so I have no idea.
It was great.
It was, yeah, Jonathan was doing it, so it was great.
Having no idea is a good thing. Question: have you guys been following the Kentucky congressional race there with Thomas Massie? Have we been hearing about that one?
Hell yeah. We've been hearing about it because Trump brought it to the forefront.
Well, which is a very curious situation there. I mean, this guy is a very staunch conservative.
Yep.
Very staunch conservative. I mean, one of his scores, he gets a 96% conservative voting rate, so
Yeah.
very conservative. Seems like a great guy. And Trump hates him.
Well, you know why.
Well, there's a lot. Yeah, I mean, well, first he disagrees with Trump sometimes,
Well,
and that's just
And he voted, he voted for impeachment, so that was the trigger.
well. But he also the Epstein files. Him and Ro Khanna are leading the charge in the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Wants those released. Trump doesn't want those released. He voted against Trump in his first term against a big COVID funding bill.
Right.
That he was against. So, but the curious piece is the funding for his campaign. The Republicans, we're not understanding, are spending more money than has ever been spent before on any seat in Congress. It's being spent by Republicans. And the funding is coming from basically AIPAC. It's coming from an Israel lobby to unseat this guy because he's against the war in Iran too. And it's just interesting or eerie to see how much influence Israel is starting to have over our election system. How much power they possess.
Where did you learn about the PAC that's providing all the money? Just out of curiosity.
Through the news, just all the sources that are coming through. There's three big sources that are funding him, funding the campaign against him.
Israel is one of them. That PAC.
Yeah, AIPAC is one of them. I can't remember the woman's name. What is that woman? The big Israeli lobbyist woman who's Donald Trump's backpack. I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
Slips my name. But anyway, it's.
I don't want to. I will say this. I don't want to see foreign influence in any election in the United States.
Yeah, right.
Period.
That's why I bring it up. It's like it seems to be Israel is backing this candidate that is trying to unseat him. So it seems there's a lot of influence there. And you just follow the money a little bit, and it goes right to Israel. So it's very disturbing. And the thing is, he's won his previous elections by, large margins, 75%.
There's nothing to say he won't win again.
Exactly. There's nothing to say he won't win again either. It's just, what I'm saying, it's curious how much money is being spent to run against him. Republicans are doing it. To unseat this conservative guy, it's like,
And that's coming from Trump. Like you got to think with how kind of vindictive he's been and out for vengeance with different things. But I haven't really looked into Massey's policies until just now, and I'm like, yeah, he's more conservative than a lot of Republicans.
Oh yeah, he is.
And that's what's gotten him in trouble.
Always has been.
Yeah. LibertyScoreConservative.com is a website you can go to, look for everybody's voting history.
Yeah.
How people vote. It's a great website. I mean, he votes like 96% of the time. You know, Rand Paul's on there. But if you look up somebody like Lindsey Graham, 47%.
Yeah. Yeah, but you notice who you coupled him with, Rand Paul, who is also on Trump's not favored list. So,
in another politician I admire, and I'm almost biting my tongue saying that.
I understand, but he says what's on his mind, and it's
both of them do.
Refreshing in a way. So,
yeah.
All right,
Thanks,
Tim. I
Jeff.
appreciate the call as always. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye bye now. Yeah, I rail every time I hear foreign influence. I don't care where it is, whether it's China, Russia, Israel. I don't care. Politics is internal. Politics is local in a lot of ways. I don't want international governments trying to influence our politics, but it happens all the time.
You just follow the money, and it leads out somewhere.
Well, in this digital age, misinformation, and you name it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a break. Lines open, 989-752-6111. By the way, we'll also have some open lines next hour after probably about 10:35, because we're going to be chatting with State Representative Bill G. Schuette before that.
Attention.
All right, we're back with you in studio with me as Jonathan Dent. Lines open at 989-752-6111. Open phones. What did you just say during the break about Social Security?
I said we need to get rid of Social Security altogether. I sincerely hope
over my dead body. But that's when you can do it.
I sincerely hope that my generation is the first that pays into Social Security and doesn't see a dime of it.
It won't happen.
It won't happen, but
you'll get something.
That's what I want.
I don't know that it's going to look like it does today, but you'll get something, because they've got to do something. And I have said all along, they need to bring Social Security into the 21st century and meet up with the actuarial tables.
Yeah.
Because when Social Security was created, they said 65 is the retirement age, and you died at 66, and there were 10 people contributing for every one taken.
Yep.
Now there's probably less than one giving for every one taking.
And they've pulled money from that.
And they've pulled money. Well, that's a shell game. The money sits in Washington. It's a shell game, and to say it is a Social Security trust fund. The trust is they're going to keep paying the money every month. But the money is, it's all in the government pot. Problem is they haven't learned how to control their spending in Washington.
They can't be trusted with the money.
Yeah, well, that's general tax money, not just Social Security money. But they do need to do something to modernize the system and bring it up to date and increase its financial stability. I tell you what, there was the legislation put forth to put a cap on Social Security payments. $50,000 a year for a single, $100,000 a year for a couple. That should tell you something about why Social Security is in trouble if they need to do that.
Yeah.
And it was never designed as a retirement program. It was designed as a safety net. And I will, full disclosure, I held off taking Social Security till I was 70. So I'm maxed out on dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I know how much it's paying me. It's not a safety net. Everything else could go away and I could live quite nicely on it. And it's just it's just an example of I'm just one. There are many, many, many more. And I just think that the system needs to be revitalized, needs to be overhauled in a responsible way. And I've said before, and I mean this, and I fully believe it, no matter what they do to Social Security,
it's not going to be popular.
First, it will never impact those that are over 65 on it now. Never.
They'll be grandfathered into.
They'll be grandfathered into everything
Their
because they're
situation.
too big a voting block.
Uh-huh.
But the future coming up, probably in staged segments, something happens this year, something happens 3 years from now, something happens 4. I think they're going to have to repackage the way they think of Social Security because it's just untenable.
It is.
Just untenable.
And it's immoral.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm enjoying it.
Well,
I have to be honest.
You're enjoying it out of my pocket.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
That's true. But everybody who's on Social Security is enjoying it out of everybody else's pocket.
And that wasn't the promise that was made.
Except when you're like me and still working.
Yeah.
I'm still paying in.
Mm-hmm.
Paying in one hand and take it out in the other hand.
Exactly. Yeah.
And get taxed for it on the other side.
On both sides. Yeah.
So I would like to see changes.
I see that. Yep.
But I have to be honest about it. I mean, as much as I think it needs to be changed and it needs to be overhauled, I certainly didn't turn it down when it was available to me.
No.
But I don't think anything will ever happen to affect how much I get. The next guy in line, yourself,
yep,
it's going to be a different story.
I agree.
Different story.
That's kind of, as much as it's going to suck, somebody's got to bite the bullet.
Well, the money has to come from someplace.
Yeah.
Other than printing it, And,
yeah. That's not going to go well.
No, that didn't go well because that costs everybody in the long run. So I don't know. It's just it's one of those things that, on the one hand, almost everybody in Washington knows they have to tackle it, and almost everybody in Washington doesn't want to go near it
because they won't keep their
that
seat.
Third rail, Yep.
And
it's one of those issues that you don't see a lot of action on. All right, we'll take our last break here and then come back, close out, tell you what's ahead here on the Art Lewis Show.
Looking for a fun getaway without...
All right, that wraps up the first hour of the Art Lewis Show. My thanks to Jonathan Dent. He might be along with us in the second half of this coming hour because we start out the next hour talking to 95th District Representative Bill G. Schuette. And we only have for a couple of segments, so around 10:35 we'll probably have more open phones for the remainder of that hour. All of this, of course, follows the news at the top of the hour. CBS brings you up to date on the world and the nation. Michael Perch is in the WSGW newsroom. I'll be back after the news.
Broadcasting from the